Good evening. I'm Suzanne Whatley along with Gregory Zarian, and this is Healthline, a show we bring you every Tuesday evening. Also, you can find us on the internet at glendaleadventist.com or on YouTube. Tonight we are going to focus on the linchpin of the healthcare system, the family medicine physician, Dr. Katrina Miller, who is the co-chair, or rather the curriculum director, of the Glendale Adventist Family Practice Residency Program, is here with us tonight. She is also a assistant professor at the Keck School of Medicine at my alma mater, the University of Southern California. Welcome.
You had to get that in there, didn't you?
I did. I'm wearing my Trojan
back
Cardinal.
to Suzanne.
It's all about moi.
But she also, I'm gonna just do a little more of a shout out to you. You're also co-chair at the Glendale Adventist Medical Center Medical Staff Performance Review Committee. Mm-hmm. You are also chair-elect at Adventist Health Physicians Order Set Team, and you're also part of the Family Medicine Physician Residency Program.
Yes.
Ooh la la.
Currently the chair. Some things have changed. I've become the chair of that one group that you were talking about, the Computerized Physician Order Entry Committee. But otherwise, pretty much correct, yes.
And basically, you're part of the managers of health care, is what y'all do.
Sure, yes, definitely.
In addition to all these additional responsibilities, you see patients every day in your office, a wide variety, on a wide variety of complaints. You have to be a real Jill of all trades, don't you, when it comes to what's wrong with folks and how to fix it?
That's true. And actually, in my position, I do so many different things that I personally don't see patients in the office every day, but I see patients of my own. I work with the residents while they see their patients. I work at the hospital to see the patients that are in the hospital, take care of the babies at the hospital, and then of course I teach. So I run down to USC to do some teaching there, and then do all these different committees trying to make sure that the residency program and the hospital is still running smoothly and we're getting to all of the issues we need to get to.
I'm exhausted just hearing but is one of your main focuses that you also love the interaction of doctor-patient?
Oh, of course. That's why I do this. And like you said, I do feel like the Jill of all trades, because you have to do a little bit of everything with family medicine, and you need to be able to see the patient and do a complete physical and be able to figure out anything that they might need based on the way they're telling it to you. And that can be somewhat of a little bit of a translational difficulty sometimes, but that's what you get good at, and that's what I love doing in family medicine, and being a part of them, their lives, and their families' lives is really what's exciting for me.
You know, we've had doctors on here before that have said that the more information that a patient gives a doctor, the more pieces to the puzzle that you can actually. Mm-hmm. Is it hard to treat someone that doesn't give you all those pieces?
Oh, of course, because again, what you're trying to do is you're trying to find out what's behind that curtain. And if you don't get as much information as possible, then you've got to go digging in other ways. And of course, if you don't have that kind of information, you might be going down the wrong path in terms of trying to help them. So the more information that you can get from a patient, the more you can really help them. So I try to be as comforting and as comfortable with my patients as possible, so they feel comfortable to be able to tell me as much as they feel they can.
Real quickly, do you find men, who's more uncomfortable, men or women? Is it men uncomfortable with you because you're a woman, or women it's girls talking? Who do you find more uncomfortable?
That's a good question. I would actually not say men versus women so much, and I would say adolescents are less likely to want to talk to me.
More shy, stuff like that? Interesting.
Yep. And the older a person is, the more willing they are to just spill it all. Because,
well, they have nothing to lose.
And you know, they understand the fact that the more information they give, the more that I'm going to be able to help them. But it's really the adolescent population that's the most difficult, because they're the most, reticent to be able to give you the information, and they don't know always what they want to say and what's going on. So it can be more difficult for them.
You might just try this approach. Text with the adolescent sitting there in the same room.
Oh, I like that.
You get out
I had a colleague that did that, actually.
Oh, I love that. Mm-hmm. Well, because you also don't get to interact, the back and forth of the eyes.
Right, they never look at you.
Or send me an email.
Yeah.
Or send me a note on Facebook.
Yeah, but I had a colleague who was actually watching the patient texting someone else while she was trying to see the patient, and so she just went ahead and texted the patient, so do you want to continue talking, or should we have this visit at another time? And then the patient looked up. So sometimes that'll work.
I thought you were actually saying that you actually text the doctor what the problem is, because you don't have to get that that nervous about explaining what's going on or what you're feeling. That's why I took that.
That's probably coming up. We do have the idea of patient portal that's in some offices, and it's coming to our office soon, which is where you can do things like text, email, or do a secured web portal to be able to get your issues, your past medical history, your medication, things like that, sent over to your doctor before you even see them, so the doctor has the information before the visit. So eventually we're going to start having something called e-visits as well, which is kind of like telephone visit, except it's going to be via email, and we may even have something like webcasting and web visits where you actually have a video portion, possibly even an audio portion, and you just do a visit like that, and the only thing that's missing is the actual one-on-one contact and interaction in the same room. But it's coming. All possibilities are there.
This is going to be a terrific show with our guest, Dr. Katrina Miller. We have so much to talk about. First of all, February is Heart Health Month, and she has so much to impart on that topic. Economic difficulties that we're all involved in this current time has created a lot of stress. She's seeing the health effects on patients. Also, a recent discrediting of a study that has caused a lot of parents to refuse vaccines for their children. And we are looking forward to bringing much more on these topics to you, the Healthline viewer. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Healthline, and we're joined with Dr. Katrina Miller, and we're going to answer your questions tonight. Where are we with the economy, health, and the recession? Because one of my favorite things on the show are my statistics. People commit suicide every year. Over 32,000 people commit suicide a year. Yeah. Because of this recession, it's going to go up to over 1,200 people, 1,200 persons more.
Yeah.
More of the unemployed, 2 to 4 times more with, same thing, suicide. What does it actually do to your business, this recession, and also what does it do to the body?
Well, first of all, it's such an awful situation, and what breaks my heart is to have the patients that have been seeing me for a long period of time feel like, number one, they can't come and see me anymore because they've lost their insurance and they don't have enough money to be able to come to my office, or that they're doing things like stretching out their medications, so people who really need daily medications are starting to take their medications every other day or every third day, or maybe I'll try it this month but I'll be off it next month, and they start coming up with these crazy ideas as to how to stretch their dollar and their medical dollar further and further. And it's very dangerous because, of course, if you have some kind of chronic issue, diabetes, hypertension, something like that, where you really need to take your medication every day, that can be very dangerous. And if you think that's going to keep you out of the doctor's office, well, where is that going to put you? Right into the hospital, because you're going to need an inpatient stay. So it makes me so sad to think that people are trying to do so many things that potentially will harm them for the sake of the fact that they just don't have enough money to do it the right way. And the other thing that really worries me is their psychological state, and that I can really see the changes with that, with this economy. Again, people losing their jobs, being stressed because they think they might lose their jobs, their spouse, their family members have lost their jobs, they've lost their houses, they've lost belongings, their cars, and that just dampens the psychological state so much. And so I really do get worried about the suicidality that's involved with the depression. And then, of course, these people are not necessarily treated for their depression. And if you want to be treated for your depression, what do you have to do? You have to come in for more visits. What kind of visits do we tell you to come into? Well, we tell you to come see me as a family medicine doctor. We tell you to come in and see your therapist, your psychologist, so you can talk about these things. Tell you you might need a psychiatrist, and all of that takes more money. And really, these people are not in a position to be able to do that. And so we, as the family medicine doctor, end up seeing much more psychology and psychiatry because they have nowhere else to go. And believe me, I'm happy to do that. But sometimes I feel like, we're really taking on a whole specialty of patients that we wouldn't otherwise be doing.